But he replied to the man who told him, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" And stretching out his hand toward his disciples, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of my Father in heaven is my brother and sister and mother." Hello, this is Kenny Underwood coming to you from 1 Minute Sermon. That's Christ talking about the body of Christ, whoever his mother or brother or sisters are, and they are those who follow the will of his Father in heaven. You know, it reminds me of a little experience I had last Saturday. I went into the Guitar Center looking for a guitar. Anybody that plays guitar knows that you can go in that place and lose yourself. I was in there for several hours. Had a great time. I ran across a couple of older gentlemen who were great guitar players, and I sat down and we started playing different guitars and comparing notes, looking at different guitars and what they offered and talking about the philosophy of buying a guitar, and we were experiencing some fellowship there. So I broke loose from them and started looking around at the Guitar Center. In one corner I saw a young girl looking at a guitar and a salesperson working with her and teaching her about that guitar. I went to the front desk and there was a guy up there trying to lay away a guitar. He only had $2 in his pocket, and he was trying to convince the staff there to take that guitar and lay it away so he could come back and buy it later. And I realized something, that we were experiencing sort of a fellowship there. They were all there interested in those instruments, those guitars, and it didn't matter how old we were or what color we were or what nationality we were or how good we were with that instrument. None of that mattered. We were all there with a particular interest in mind. And on a grander scale, that's sort of a great analogy for the body of Christ. You know, we all have Christ as our central interest. If you have Christ in your heart, then you're part of that body. You're one of those brothers or sisters or mothers. And we have fellowship with each other. And it's so important to keep doing that. You know, in Hebrews 10, it reminds us, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." It's important that we realize that we are part of that body and that we have this fellowship together. And that is what makes us strong, gives us direction and perseverance. In Ephesians 4:16, Paul goes on to say, "He makes the whole body fit together perfectly, as each part does its own special work that helps the other parts grow, so that the whole body is healthy and growing and full of love." Become part of the body of Christ if you're not today. Have that fellowship with other brothers and sisters and mothers. It'll keep you on track. It'll change your life. There's your 1 Minute Sermon. God bless.